pull the top 3 motivated seller list for free. Guys, it's Rick again, and in today's video, I'm going to show you the 3 most active lists to get the absolute highly motivated sellers. And the really cool part is they're all for free. But before I get into it, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button, you hit that subscribe button to continue to receive the absolute best information on wholesaling today. Guys, this list is just to get you charged up and get you out there getting a list. So many coaches and gurus tell you about these high premium paid list services. What I often find out is most of them overlook is the tried and true ones, the ones that have worked for like 40, 50 years plus. Why do they not promote them? The reason is they're boring. They can't manipulate them to make you pay them for them. And honestly, I got 21 years data to back me up on this. Let's hit these lists. So I'm going to start with my absolute favorite one right off the bat. It's going to be probates. And probates is just a process when somebody passes away that they have the ability through the court system to transfer their assets, their final wishes, basically through their will. And usually what they do is they appoint a person in the family. That person is designated as the PR, the personal representative, or the executor. There's lots of other names for it, but you kind of get the gist on it. And I got to be honest with you, a lot of people are burdened with the pressure of selling a loved one's house while they're grieving, and it's very challenging. Honestly, if probate's done correctly, when somebody's in the final stages of their life or like the final 5 or 10 years on it, you don't waste money fixing up the house. Honestly, they take care of the family member, and that is the priority. When the family member passes, then they have to make a decision on how to dispose of the asset. And honestly, a lot of them aren't up to showing the property. They definitely don't want to list it with a realtor half the time. And the last thing they want to do is put $50,000 or $100,000 and renovate the house, because the last time the elderly family member updated it could have been 20, 30, 40 years ago. Guys, these houses are ripe. And here's the really cool part about probates, why they're so ideal for wholesalers. Number one, they're usually vacant. I mean, the reality is when the people pass away, it's very tough on the family members. And most people don't want to live in those houses because there's so many memories of home or grandma or mom or dad in there. I get it. I personally been through it. It sucks. So 9 times out of 10, they're going to be vacant. I've already talked about the deferred maintenance. Usually they're way outdated. They need a lot of updating. The roof, the AC, cosmetically, and it is overwhelming for the PR or the executor to handle all this stuff. So sometimes they meet with a realtor and they're just like, the realtor says you got to put 50 or 100,000 into it. And they go, wow, I just wish there was a solution where I could just sell it and get the money out of it and move on with my life. And that is why it's so prime for someone like you, someone like me as a wholesaler. You see, the bigger the problem we solve, the more money you make. And actually, the better you help society out. I'm in probates to create a win-win situation for everybody involved. If I can't create a win-win situation, I simply move on to the next deal. To simply get started in probates, you need to go down to your county courthouse, the probate department, and pull the most recent data of probates that are filed. Now, if you search them online or you go them in person, fresh information is the key to making this work. What you're really looking for in this document is you're looking for the address of the property and the deceased's name. And then from there, you want to locate the PR or the executor. Obviously, you're not going to chase down the deceased because they've passed away. So the next line to get them is through the PR. And basically, all you have to do is skip trace the PR. And the PR is basically you're going to reach out on the phone, or you're basically going to send them a formal letter. Those are the 2 best ways to connect with them. Listen, you can have a full-time job and work probates in your sleep. And I'm here to tell you, there's probably 50 to 70 leads in a given county per month. It might be a little bit bigger if you have a metro area. It might be a smaller if you have less than, say, 75,000 people population in your county. But the really cool part is when I do a probate, I don't do a ton of them. But when I do them, they're 3 to 4 times more profitable than my average wholesale deal done via assignment. Why? Because they're vacant, they're super easy to sell, and you get a lot of time to sell the property to a cash buyer that will pay the most. And for these reasons, it being vacant, deferred maintenance, having plenty of time to sell it because it's vacant, this is why probates are absolutely perfect. Guys, I stayed away from probate the first 7 years of my investing career because I didn't understand them and I thought it was a little freakish, to be honest with you. And I was dead wrong. And honestly, the more people we can help out as wholesalers, the better off we all do. Guys, make sure you jump on the probate list. Now, this list is free, but it is a pain in the butt to get sometimes. So you're going to have to be very persistent. I recommend going in person if you have that availability. If not, you can go online. You can send emails, send phone calls, or find a way to get them online. Listen, if you get access to the probates, there's about 3,200 counties across the country. Every county is different. So even if you decide to go to the county next to you, understand it's going to be different. You have to learn them intimately and look up your state statute laws for probates so you understand the entire process, and get help from your title company. And then if you can connect with a probate lawyer, that always helps too, guys. Probates are awesome. Coming in at number 2, which I love this list. This is the list I primarily got it started out, and it's for free. It is code violations. And code violations is simply when somebody does not comply to the rules that the city or the county has put forth for a community or a neighborhood. Get an example: if you let your grass grow too tall, if it gets more than 10 or 12 inches in our local county, you get a code violation notice. So how do they know? Well, number one, there's people that drive around in a code violation truck all day and they look for it. But honestly, they rely on neighbors, your Karens, to rat you out. And I apologize if your name's Karen. That's not fair. So once it happens is you get a notice mailed to you, and you usually get it posted on your door, and you usually have 30 days to correct it. Now, no big deal. Sometimes you get it for the lawn. It didn't get cut. The reality is people don't choose to have their houses look like this. It's the circumstances in their life. Remember, in wholesaling, we're looking for symptoms in the real estate to help out sellers so we can put a great wholesale deal together. Code violations is no exceptions. Honestly, these are some of the most motivated people because they didn't choose to be that way. They're usually stuck in that situation. And a lot of people need help getting the house sold so they don't get deeper in debt. In fact, when you get a code violation, a lot of times you actually clear the violation, say you mow the lawn. If you don't reach out to the city, set an appointment, they keep racking up the fines up to $100 a day after the first 30 days. I've helped out so many people on code violation because they didn't know. They lived out of town. It was their grandmother's house and went through probate. They didn't know. And what better way to get a motivation from somebody on the code violation list? Guys, remember, these people don't choose to be on that list, but where there's smoke, there's fire. Code violation is no different. Now, you're going to have to work. You're going to have to go down to your city and or county. A lot of times it's with the building department or where they issue permits, and they'll have an entire department with them. Your job is to connect with these people, humanize yourself, and let them know you just want to get the list. And the reality is it is a public list, but they have privacy policies. You're going to have to overcome resistance with persistence. That's the only way to get these lists. Don't forget it. It's no different than in code violations. Now, one of my third favorite lists is the eviction list. And the really cool thing is this list is free. I'll also tell you it's one of the easiest lists to get. Why? Because it is public information. It is a lawsuit, so they can't hide it. And honestly, you should be able to pull the evictions online with the greatest of ease, or go down to your local county courthouse. You should be able to get them. Now, there's a specific type of landlord I'm looking for in these lists. Remember, when they file for an eviction, it means someone wasn't paying rent or if they damaged the property and they're trying to get them removed from the house. I want you to understand, when you have a professional landlord, a landlord that owns 4 or more properties, which I define as a professional landlord, most likely they are not going to cut you a deal through wholesaling. And usually you're wasting your time with these types of people. The ideal candidate on the eviction list: number one, get the freshest evictions you can. Whoever gets to them first has the best shot. And what's really cool is a lot of the court dockets have the landlord's phone number on it. Like the state of Michigan, 100% it's on there. And there's about 12 other states. I'm gonna let you guys figure that out. But pull these lists. You can skip trace it. You can find the property. And then the easiest way is to reach out to call them. You can text them, or you can send them a piece of direct mail. Now, if we're trying to avoid people that own 4 or more properties in a business LLC name, what we're looking for are fresh landlords that own less than 4 properties. And the sweet spot for these are when they own them in their personal name. It means they don't know what they're doing. They're probably in way over their heads. Some coach or guru convinced them that real estate was the way to get financially rich. They were told it was passive income, and they didn't understand they had to deal with human beings. They had to deal with people trashing properties, tearing up the properties, and not paying the rent, and going through expensive court cases to do evictions. Honestly, when I connect with these people, I have great success because they just want to get rid of it as fast as possible. Remember, they are landlords that own less than 4 properties and they put them in their personal name. Now, it doesn't mean the ones that own less than 4 properties with LLCs won't sell to you. I just find the ones that put it in their own name, they have no clue on how to be a landlord, and they got into it and they want to get out of it. And honestly, most of them want to exit it just like a stock. They want to push a button, but it takes work. So this is where you and me come in as a wholesaler, make them a great cash offer, and then we take over the property and then we sell it to another cash buyer via assignment. I love evictions. Evictions are great, but look for the key distinct features of an individual that owns less than 4 properties and watch your success rate go way up. I stopped sending it to people on 20, 30 properties because they do evictions for a living and they don't care about your wholesaling letters. Now, the best way to reach out to these people, as I said before, I like to just give them a phone call, a text. I love texting this. The worst case scenario, you can send them a postcard. But guys, all 3 of these lists are dynamite. I've used them for 21 years plus. I have the data to back it up. I'm not just preaching to you. I'm telling you what I've done in my business for the 21 years and what I'm doing today. I love them. They work in local markets and virtual markets. It's up to you to work these lists. Remember, these lists aren't always the easiest to get, and to overcome resistance, you got to beat it with persistence. Go ahead and get these lists. Guys, let me know in the comments which lists you are jumping on. And as usual, if you got value from this video, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. This is Rick Gann. I'll see you in the next video. See you guys.